All right, everybody, old Pops is back, and here we go on a musical journey to YouTube, right? If you haven't seen the first episode, it's right up here. I'll leave it right up here for everybody. And of course, I'll leave something right here for everybody. But don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We appreciate it very much. And if you're new with us, welcome to the channel. We are glad to have you. This is my musical journey to YouTube. Because I get asked a question all the time. How do you not know, ABBA or, any of these artists that, have been popular for years? Well, this is why. So in 1976, early 76, now I'm not quite 10 years old at this time. A friend of mine, we had been playing hockey, and a friend of mine says, dude, come on over to the house. I'll show you something. I said, cool, let's go, So we go over, and he shows me this album cover. And I'm like, whoa, okay, who are these guys? I'm looking at guys in costumes, right? Just like you're seeing here on the thumbnail. And it's like, okay, I don't know who these cats are, but all right, let's check it out and see. And he goes, let me put on my favorite song on the album so far. And I'm like, cool. And it's this one, Black Diamond. This is off the Kiss Alive album. And this completely threw me on my head like, whoa, what is this? I've got to hear more, So it really started me into my hard rock and metal journey, right? I had already heard some rock. I had already heard some, a bit of heavier stuff. And I say heavier stuff, harder stuff, like with Foghat and, things like that. But this really turned the page for me. This is Black Diamond, Kiss, live in 75. Let's go. Now, I will have to pause this several times because it falls under somebody that doesn't want us to, do anything. So, yeah. And you won't be able to see hardly anything on the screen. Okay, now, before Paul starts singing here, I didn't know the guys' names, right? He didn't tell me. Just said Space Ace, The Demon, Star Child, and Catman. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's check it out and see. And this starts playing, and I'm going, wow, that guitar is really good. That's some really nice guitar work there. And it sounds really good. Little did I know, one of the great guitarists in rock, and, had no idea at the time. Let's go.
Out on the street for a living, pictures only begun.
And I didn't know Paul's voice at the time. But man, does he have a great voice. He's a really good vocalist. If you've never heard Forever, go back and watch the live video for Forever. The acoustic version. It's unbelievably good. saw them in concert the first time a year later, right? I was 11. And oh my God, what a circus. It was amazingly good. They're one of those bands, if y'all have never seen Kiss, they're one of those bands that's much, much better live than on an album, right? They put out good albums, don't get me wrong, but live is, seeing them live, especially back in that time, was, when they were young, was, God almighty, it was so good. Yeah, their harmonies are fantastic. And a lot of people don't like Kiss, right? They say Kiss is a, whatever. And I understand it. I do. I understand it. I get it, right? A lot of people are not going to like, the next songs that we play either. I promise you. But some are going to go, wow, now I understand why you don't know, all these artists that we've introduced you to. And this is the start of why. But I love Ace's guitar playing. Gene's bass playing is really good during this time. And afterwards. I mean, you go all the way up to, say, Revenge. Really good albums, Peter's drum work, fantastic, especially on a live too. And Paul's voice, I mean, just always good.
Out on the streets for a living, bitches only began. Your days are in my hands, got you under my thumb. Like diamonds, yeah. Like diamonds.
Yep. And things get harder and heavier from here. Excuse me. But I love this album. I still have this album today. Went and bought it shortly afterwards. Had a little record store down just from where we lived, not far from where we lived, called Hot Licks. And I went in there and got it. I think I paid at the time, I think, and it was a new album. I mean, it hadn't been out a year yet. Matter of fact, it hadn't been out just a few months. I think I want to say I paid $3.50 for the album. Or $4, something like that. Great album. I have it on CD now. I don't have it on, album anymore, but yeah. Great album. Yeah, it's a crazy good song. Anyway, yeah. Kiss. My introduction, well, not exactly my introduction. I mean, like I said, I had heard Foghat and James Gang and things like that before this. But then I heard Kiss. And then it rolled into Black Sabbath and, all this kind of stuff as we went. It got a little bit harder, a little bit harder, and a little bit harder. Yeah. And great stuff. So that's, leading us into why I didn't know, because like I said, this was 1976 when I first heard this. Album came out in 75, of course. But I didn't listen to pop music. I didn't listen to, whoever, Casey and the Sunshine Band and ABBA, and I can't think some of the others y'all have introduced me to as we went. Bee Gees, things like that, and it's like, I get asked, how do you not know these people? Well, this is why, because this is what I listen to. It's stuff like this, and then, like I said, we just got harder as we went. So, I'll get to the next one here in just a little bit. Y'all stick around. Number 2 coming up. This is Soul Pops. We are out.